Hey, what's going on, guys? It's your boy Drew back again with another video for all you American soccer fans out there. And in this one, as you can tell probably by the title, we're going to be talking about the new national team manager for the USA. And no, before you guys get a little ahead of yourselves, Gregg Berhalter did not get fired, nor do I think he's going to be anytime soon, unless more performances like the other day against Canada keep on happening. So I think he's safe for now. You know, his older brother, or whatever, his other brother, the other Berhalter brother, is going to make sure Gregg stays in his place with the national team. So, unfortunately, I don't think he's going to be fired anytime soon. But that doesn't mean we can't go ahead and speculate what kind of managers out there in the world, outside of MLS, first of all, would be able to, first of all, replace him, and second of all, actually do a really good job at replacing him and do an even better job than maybe our last handful of managers. Anyway, so in this video, before I get started, I want you guys to know I just picked 3 names who I think will be able to, who I think would be a good fit for the national team, who I think would maybe be more successful than Gregg Berhalter, or at least hopefully would be. One of them is kind of far-fetched, and 2 of them are kind of almost realistic. So without further ado, keep your minds open, grab some snacks, kick back and relax. Let's talk about them. Okay, first up, I gotta go ahead and get the far-fetched one out of here. It might be far-fetched to some of you, but to me, I think it might be doable if the right moment comes around. But the first one is, of course, Laurent Blanc. If you guys don't know who this dude is, this guy was most known for being the manager of PSG back in 2013 all the way up to 2016. That was when, of course, they were both mutually agreeing on his departure from the club. Now, Laurent Blanc isn't the most successful, most popular manager out there in the world. No one's going out. No big teams in Europe right now are looking for him as a replacement for their managers, which I really don't know why. But you know, he does have 4 league titles under his belt, 3 with PSG, 1 with Bordeaux. He's got a handful of French cups under his belt too. You know, he's managed 3 teams in France. I think he was kind of done wrong by PSG back in the day. That was when PSG kind of first got their money around. They really started to spend a lot. They were like in the middle of building their most expensive team ever. You know, they were buying players like Thiago Silva, Zlatan Ibrahimovic, Edinson Cavani. You know, players like that, Angel Di Maria. Those kind of players were around back then. Maybe not Di Maria, but those other players were. You know, they were around. They were still they were still growing into themselves as a club, as like a new big team club. So, and I feel like Laurent Blanc wasn't the right manager for them to really build a whole new team of superstars and compete with Europe's biggest teams ever back then. So I think, PSG was kind of frustrated. They probably wanted a bigger, more well-known manager at the helm. He did replace Carlo Ancelotti when he took over Laurent Blanc at PSG, but I think he could have maybe today done a better job with his PSG team. I think he would have done a better job than whoever the last PSG manager was, the guy who's coaching Arsenal right now, Unai Emery. I think he's a better manager than Unai Emery is, and I think he would be a pretty good fit for the U.S. men's national team. I think if the USA wanted to make a statement to not just the world, but to most importantly to its American soccer fans here, the American fan base here, to give us some kind of hope out there that they're really thinking about improving and growing and thinking outside the box for this country. I think having a manager like Laurent Blanc, or maybe similar, a manager of some kind of European manager out there, and bring him in, a big name too. Like Laurent Blanc, I feel like was more well known than Jurgen Klinsmann when he got appointed. So I think having a big recognizable name at the helm of the national team would do wonders for not just the team, but probably do wonders for the fans in terms of having faith within this team again. But if they don't want to do that, they're too afraid, then I got 2 other managers who I think might fit the part. Okay, she's probably going to be in the thumbnail, so let's just get this chick out of the way. That, of course, is Jill Ellis, the queen herself of the U.S. women's national team. I have so much respect for Jill Ellis. I think she is obviously the most successful women's manager out there, I believe. Her record is insane. She's managed 132 games with the women's USA national team. 132 games, 106 wins, 19 draws, and only 7 losses. Dude, what? That's insane. That's like Spain type of record right there. back when Spain was freaking dominating the whole world. I think that's actually a good record. Jill Ellis, obviously, very, very successful with the U.S. women's national team, winning the 2015 and the 2019 World Cup comfortably, winning 2015 CONCACAF Women Coach of the Year, and also winning 2015 and 2019 FIFA World Women's Coach of the Year. Of course, those years being the year she won the World Cup. That's why that makes sense. That's why she would win that Women's Coach of the Year. But still, I think she is one of the most impressive managers I've ever seen at the helm of any national team, boy or girl national team, doesn't matter. But the only problem I see with her coming here, well, first let's talk about the good stuff. I think she would bring a new, nice, fresh change here to the national team. It would be interesting to see how she would deal in a men's team. Interesting to see how tactically she would hold up against other, like her male counterparts tactically in CONCACAF and around the world. Are with arguably better teams out there than she's probably ever faced as a women's national team coach. Because, the USA women's team, fucking best team in the world. Everyone, hands down, best team in the world for years now and probably 4 more years to come. But she did step down as a manager this year, after this great legacy she left. So she is available. But the only downside, let's get to it now. The only downside I can see to this, obviously, is the gender barrier. Are people going to be a little like judgmental or like really kind of crazy and freak out that a woman is coaching their men's national team? Yeah, I think there's some people out there, some American soccer fans, unfortunately, who are going to be a little closed-minded to the idea. I think it's harder for a woman to coach a men's team than it is for a man to coach a women's team. It's almost like, oh, well, he's the man, so like he's going to understand the game better than this chick will, so let's let him manage the women's national team. I get it. Like, I believe the England women's national team in the World Cup, their manager was a dude. He's some famous guy too. I totally forget. I'm having a mind fart, but who cares? This guy, he was, I believe, coaching at men's team, and then he got a job with the English women's national team, and he did pretty good. He brought them pretty far in the World Cup this past year, and he was doing really well with them. So I can see why not. It can be replicated the other way or reversed, having Jill Ellis come to the men's national team and try to do something good and work wonders with our team. She's the manager who really, and during her time, would drop some big superstar players from her lineups or from her squad list to bring in more youthful players. And I think that's something that we need here in America, in our national team. That's something we really need to do. Drop players like fucking Michael Bradley Guzan, and bring us some new fresh talent that she thinks would be a big impact on the team that she's trying to build. So, I'm all for Jill Ellis to come. She's more successful than any manager we've ever had in our freaking history. So why not just give her a chance and see what she could offer? She's still young. She's only like 53 or 54, so she's got many, many years to go. Why not let her come here and try to build a legacy on the men's side as well? Like, could you imagine if she comes here, freaking cleans this place up, like cleans up freaking Berhalter's mess, and just like, dude, boom, look at that, look what she did. And then like, if she wants to step down, but at least she will leave, hopefully, some sort of legacy in the event that happens. So I'm all for that. Now this last manager, I'm sure some of you guys have kind of predicted to happen one day, or kind of hoped this would have happened maybe before Gregg Berhalter took the helm. And that, of course, being Tab Ramos. If you guys don't know who this dude Tab Ramos is, he has been the manager of the under-20 U.S. men's national team since 2011. He also was appointed as assistant manager for the senior national team right before the start of the 2014 World Cup. So, and we had a pretty decent World Cup, I'd say, that year. We didn't have the best players, but still, I think we got as far as we could have. We probably could have got a little farther, but I think we did pretty good that year, coming from, an American soccer side fan base view. But, he was alongside Jurgen Klinsmann during that. Tab Ramos was through the whole thing. And a lot of people really want Tab Ramos there because he's very successful, or seems to be very successful, with the under-20 squad. He won the 2017 under-20 CONCACAF championship back in 2017, obviously. He won that with assistant coaches Omi Namazi and Brad Friedel right before he took helm of New England Revolution and totally fucking bombed. Sorry, Brad. But then, of course, he did make it out of. He did. I can't fucking talk. He did manage the under-20s during this past World Cup in 2019, where we made it all the way to the quarterfinals again, but then again get knocked out, this time by Ecuador's under-20 team. And I think this was a very, very close game, a game where I think we could have won. I think tactically, Tab Ramos is much more superior to Gregg Berhalter. I think he's been obviously managing this team for longer than Gregg Berhalter has managed the senior team, so he knows how the team is in day day out. He knows the insides and outs of his under-20s. Sure, some people, some of these players come in young and they leave like a little older, or they get called up sooner away from the under-20s, but still he finds talent, still he gives talent a chance, still he's able to produce more talent for the senior team. And I think the best thing about having Tab Ramos become the senior national team coach would be, he's worked with these guys since they were young. He's worked with most of these guys for a long time now. These guys know him. He knows them. He's probably helped them improve their game as they got along the years. I feel like Tab Ramos would give our youth system a better chance than Gregg Berhalter does right now. And I feel like Tab Ramos would not really rely so much on MLS, because why the fuck would he need to? He knows he's got young talent out there, not just in MLS, but around the world. So I think it would make sense for him to become a manager, and also a manager that is going to give this team some new youth in it. We don't need to have players like Michael Bradley all the time. A lot of people hate Michael Bradley, but I'm not the biggest hater. I think he's pretty decent. I think he's the best we can have right now in terms of like center defensive midfielders. He's better than Roldan. He's better than Will Trapp. So I'd rather take Bradley over Trapp and Roldan any day. And Michael Bradley's got some pretty decent leadership skills as well. He's been around the game a long time. But still, like, if you want to replace him, Tab Ramos is the guy to go. He's not going to fucking replace Bradley with Will Trapp and Christian Roldan. He's going to find better players out there. For Gideon Zelalem, for instance. Some guy like that. Like, players of that nature. Okay, young players who could make an impact in the team. Young players that he's worked and familiar with and that he knows will be able to fit in and fight their way into the senior team. Rather than having Gregg Berhalter just fucking play Brad Guzan and go and Will Trapp in the center midfield. Like, and play Yazidars up front with Josie Yazidor. Like, these players are done, man. Tab Ramos will do wonders with Josh Sargent, do wonders with Christian Pulisic, Tyler Boyd, Zach Steffen, freaking Matt Miazga at the back. This guy, I think, would be a really, really good choice for the national team. He is probably my #1 pick. If you want to know my pick, it's reverse of what this video is. I think Tab Ramos is first, Jill Ellis, and then Laurent Blanc. Okay, I think that's pretty much it. And another thing that could be a good possibility for this is that if Tab Ramos is showing not just American soccer fans, but maybe other players and other fans, other soccer fans around the world, that hey, USA is a team who's rebuilding. USA is a team who's rebuilding into trying to rebuild with its youth. Who is a youthful USA player right now out there in the world? Serginho Dest. I think if Serginho Dest takes a look at what Tab Ramos could be building here, he's like, you know what? I want to be part of this. I want to be part of the team. He's a young player. Tab Ramos is good with working with young players and developing young talent. I think Serginho Dest and Tab Ramos would be really great together. And I think he'd get the best out of Serginho Dest. And I think he would probably help clear Serginho Dest's mind into choosing solely to represent the United States of America. Like, I think that is, I don't know what else to say. This is the best option for us right now. Tab Ramos is not really a freaking MLS coach, so he's not going to be heavily relying on MLS talent. If he is, it's probably mostly going to be on, younger talent who still has some life in it, not freaking talent that's wasted, like Will Trapp, Yazzie Zardes, like, none of that shit, okay? We don't need that. And Tab Ramos is going to fix it. I mean, Tab Ramos could fix it. I'm hoping that if and hopefully when Gregg Berhalter gets the boot, Tab Ramos is the first name that these U.S. Soccer Federation people are thinking about. But of course, it's very corrupt. We don't know what's going to happen. We're just going to sit here and pray. But that's it, though. These are the 3 managers I think would be best fit to coach the U.S. men's national team for years to come. So I want to know your thoughts down below on these 3 managers. Which one do you like the best? And if there's someone I missed that you think would be really good for this list, let me know down below and tell me why you think they would be good to coach the U.S. men's national team. As always, thank you so much for watching. Thanks for kicking with me. And I'll see you next time. Peace.